24th?
Yeah.
Yes.
October 24th, 2024, zoning board meeting of adjustments,
7 o'clock.
Call
7 p.m. Call to order.
We can do attendance.
And then attendance.
Yeah. So I just suggest for the camera, everyone go around and
There's a
introduce
copy of
themselves.
the agenda. that you-
Sure. You want to introduce yourself first? We'll go this way.
Do what? Sure.
Introduce yourself, Rick.
Rick Highland.
Sherry Coleman.
Peter Don Connix.
Joe Ferris.
And Sean Wadsworth, secretary, not member of zoning board.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you.
Absent is
And
Keith
just-
Purdo.
Just for the record, I'm not here as a selectman. I'm here as a
Member.
Member of the ZBA.
member of the town.
I'm still listing you as a select board rep.
No,
No,
there's no rep from the select board on the
no
zoning.
rep from the select board, okay.
Okay, Peter.
Okay. So appointment of alternates by chairperson as necessary. Do we have any alternates?
Not yet,
Mr. Secretary.
We do not.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
but we do have a quorum.
We do have a quorum.
Yes.
Yes. All right, so moving next, review appointments in terms of service.
I had asked the town clerk to double check on that, but the clerk's been out with a family
Okay.
thing, so let's double check. I think, Sherry, you might be the only one that needs to be sworn in.
I think I do.
Yeah.
I'm due, so, okay.
Do you have the paper?
The paper.
Well,
Do you
I'm
swear?
swearing it.
To make her swear.
Well,
Oh, do I have it? I do not have the paper.
no,
Okay, well, I will,
Oh, because Rick, you could do it.
I
right?
could actually.
you
do
could
it.
actually do it if I had it. Okay. All right, so we'll have to come back to that.
It's too bad. Can you run the meeting since you're not?
I was gonna say, am I allowed to do this if I'm not
Yeah,
sworn in?
I mean, well,
You wanna
we
run
have,
the meeting?
we have, I'll run the meeting boy, I don't care.
Peter is your vice
Peter is the
chair.
vice chair.
Okay.
So if you want to hand the
So
meeting
Peter,
over
would you like to
Peter.
take over until I've been sworn in?
Well, I will mention that this meeting wasn't for a particular zoning purpose.
Right.
Right? This is a get-together meeting.
Well, this is more organizational. It's,
Correct.
Continuation of the April meeting,
Yes,
because by law, we have to have rules of procedure.
Right.
correct.
And we should have had them 8 years ago. And I took a copy off the state planning website, and we kind of kicked it around last time, and I think we made a few changes to it. And I think Sean incorporated them in this last draft, I would hope.
Yep.
And we just need to go through it and just make sure that our i's are dotted and t's are crossed. And then vote and approve it.
Let's see.
All right, so we're not dealing with, who was taking the minutes from the previous meeting, which was?
Sean.
Secretary.
With Sean.
Okay, so you were the one at that time too.
Would anyone like a printed copy of the proposed rules of procedure?
I did go over them, but it would be handy to have.
1, 2.
Since
I
I
have-
dropped
I
them
have a
off,
copy.
You have yours.
I don't have a copy with me, so.
In last year's town report, the zoning board isn't even, oh yeah, it is. Sherry Coleman, Sam Farrington, Keith Proto,
So we've had quite a
and
few changes.
vacancies.
And vacancies.
Yeah. I mean, I just got on this past year,
Yeah, I was on
We were.
much earlier, yeah.
and I think Joe.
And now we're back
Yeah,
because
Right.
bodies
Right.
available.
We're back.
Well, we've got 2 or 3 potential cases that may come before the zoning
Correct.
board.
Coming up.
You know, in order not to embarrass the town, we should.
No, we have to be prepared.
You know,
What, which are those cases that you're aware of?
we shouldn't be.
No, we shouldn't be
discussing it's not at this
until they've been
time.
actually
Not even to
filed.
mention the name?
No.
Nope.
Okay, very
I
good.
don't think we're allowed,
We don't have-
Can't until they offer it to us.
No, this is true, we cannot discuss between ourselves.
Right.
We don't have any applications before us at this point.
Okay, no applications, that's what I'm getting at, really.
But the select board have rejected some building permits that have the potential.
Geez, mine wasn't rejected, was it?
Yeah.
It might be.
No, you were the third one. No,
Oh, they didn't tell me it was rejected.
no,
Okay.
we haven't even dealt with it.
Oh,
This
We know you're gonna
is
straighten it all out and get it all.
There's been a lot of changes.
put out by the state. It's the Zoning Board of Adjustment Handbook for Locals Officials, 2023. I think I sent a link at the previous meeting, but I'll resend it. Everyone should just at least read through this once, because it tells you how to do the zoning board.
Well,
Exactly.
one of the potential ones could be real messy
So
and could get to court.
maybe we all need to do our homework then before it comes.
So, just,
So,
you know,
okay.
nothing's been filed, so I don't know.
All right,
The
so,
person may have read the ordinances and now agrees with the way we look at
all right, but at this point, nothing has been filed,
it.
Right.
nothing, anything. We're just an organizational meeting.
You already have a copy?
I have a copy.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, thank you. That was quick.
If anybody needs writing utensils, a whole bunch of them
and
will
this
be.
didn't change, right, from what was on the submitted online?
It's it's what we discussed, and then I put edits in, Rick put edits in, and that's it. So it's the,
And that's from the last.
So
From the
what,
last meeting.
what was in our email?
this is
today?
what was in the email today.
This is what, okay, so yes, we read, then I read this.
Yeah.
What do we have next?
Well, we had the introduction, of course, to the members, approval of amendments. We didn't
We
have
don't have an agenda.
no minutes because they're July of 2020 and our
We
last
have, we
meeting
have
was
minutes
21.
from the last
We have,
meeting.
yes.
Correct.
But we do. Do you have a copy? Anybody?
I have a copy on my phone.
Right.
Would anyone like a printed copy of the minutes?
I don't need a printed copy.
I'm fine. I've gone back and looked, but
Should
I
I?
just-
They're
Like,
from
I gave
2000.
Sherry my copy, so.
right here.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I've already read them, so I don't have.
Now, the idea is this,
I think it was
ZBA, and there was nothing, there was rules of procedure, basically, right, and other things, just almost like us, organized meeting. I don't see anything on this that says that we were ruling, or whoever was in the ZBA that was ruling. So,
No, I don't know where that
all right,
came from.
okay,
Are we on approval of minutes?
yes.
I'll move to approve the minutes that were distributed.
And I'll second that motion.
Okay,
So now I guess it's up for discussion,
So this is the minutes of
the last meeting.
the last meeting on October.
April 9th.
April 9th.
Oh, wait a minute, no, excuse me, that says order. April 9 April of 2020. Okay. So minutes are approved. And, okay, application review, we have no applications.
We haven't approved the minutes yet. We just made a
No.
Oh,
motion
excuse me,
to bring up the minutes for
Point of order.
discussion
That's
if
right.
needed,
That's
so
right.
everybody's fine with it.
I'm out of practice.
It's okay. So am I. It's
This is
been
a
a
dry,
while.
this is a dry run.
Exactly. It's been a few years.
Robert shook his head.
Peter will keep you honest.
That's what Mary expects to send me home too. Okay,
So
You're not
Peter,
gonna
I-
get
all right,
it
so
easy.
go ahead.
those minutes, the very top, the heading, I had the wrong date, so
I was gonna say
correcting
July
the
9th.
date to April 9th, 2024.
Okay.
I knew what you meant.
Yes.
I wrote April 9th. Now I'm pressing. Okay. All right, so, Does everybody approve of the minutes? Is there any, I should say, excuse me, discussion, any discussions about the fact of accepting these minutes?
So the way it typically goes is someone makes a motion,
You make
Right.
it
then someone
seconds
seconds,
it, and then
Correct.
I.
then discussion,
Discussion,
Correct.
and call it to
and
order.
after discussion, call for a vote.
Correct.
So
If there were no amendments or corrections to it.
So that's what we're
Other than the
So-
correction of the date.
asking
So who
now.
made-
The correction of the
That's a
date.
ty- that's
Rick
a
made the
typo.
motion, I seconded the
Thank
motion.
you.
We
Okay.
made a
That's a
correction of the
typo, he
date,
can do
that's
that.
a typo,
And it's just the correction of the date. and-
Let's not confuse it.
Okay,
so,
very good.
Let's move to a vote.
So we have a vote on the,
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Sherry, you should maybe recuse just because you're not.
I was gonna say, cause I'm not sworn in, so,
okay. Select board information, or report information, do we, what is the point of that? Okay, so
Say
we'll
what?
go beyond that then. Correspondence, do we have anybody asking for a meeting? All right,
Not that I'm aware of.
we're only anticipating what may happen.
there's some things.
Yeah, I don't know
possibly.
where that agenda came from.
I made that.
Yeah, well, this is pretty decent.
It's pretty
It's a basic.
Yeah.
straightforward,
format.
organizational.
Yeah.
Okay, new business, we have none at this time, no applications and so on. All right, review and adopt the ZBA rules of procedure. I move that we do that unless somebody has a problem with it. Do you
Well,
have-
I think there's
There
at least
is-
one thing that needs to be determined. One is that opposite paragraph there, on the first page. Chairperson should be elected annually by a vote of the board in the month of April. We figured that would come after a town meeting.
Okay.
Rather not have it in March, because, I mean, the selectmen have to approve and swear in new appointees and that sort of thing. And I think what we need to do is decide what day of the month,
Pick a date.
my suggestion would be to pick a day of the week and then figure out which week during the month would be the best.
So town meeting is always the first,
Second
second Tuesday
Tuesday of March.
in March. Okay. For myself personally, as close to that as we could do would be the best, just having kids in college, those are their times off.
Yeah. When do they normally have it off?
They are the third week in March.
What about after that?
I could do it April.
Yeah. I would suggest April. I think
Yeah.
that's why we
Okay.
wrote that in. We
Why don't we do it?
we didn't have enough people.
I think that's why I missed the meeting before,
Yeah.
because we were away for that.
Yeah.
Why don't we do it the first week in April? Can we do that?
I'm easy.
Yeah.
I'm easy, I'm a lot easier now.
Okay, so maybe the first Tuesday in April?
Sure.
What day of the week is best for everybody?
Um,
And what doesn't conflict with existing meetings for this? week?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
What week, what day?
Planning board is second Monday, and
Okay.
conservation commission is first Tuesday.
Okay, so
then let's do it,
second-
let's do
second
it Thursday.
Second Tuesday
Or second Thursday?
Yeah, let's do it the second Thursday.
is Thursday good for
I
everybody?
believe,
Yeah.
at this point, I think it is.
Yeah,
I'm a kind of a 1 week.
yeah, no,
And
yeah.
and the only thing we do is write in where that space is. It would be the third Thursday of April.
Third Thursday of April. Okay.
Third or second?
So we
You
said
said
second.
second.
Second Thursday.
Well, whatever we decide here is what you wanna put into that space.
I think that works.
So that works for me.
Because by law, RSA, we have to have an organizational meeting every year, and we have to choose a chair, vice chair,
Right,
and a secretary. That'll take care of our organizational meeting, and then the rest of the year is gonna be nothing more than schedule as needed, for determining,
whatever case.
this is the judicial branch of town government.
I would maybe just suggest just leaving it as in the month of April.
And then
So that
as it gets closer,
future
if something
boards
comes
can
up.
change the date to whatever date they want, as long as it happens in the month of
Anything's
April.
fine, we just left it blank so that everybody had some input on it.
So maybe we bring it up amongst each other in the beginning of March and check each other's schedule then and.
Perfect.
Well, yeah, I was gonna suggest that,
I mean, as long as we have one in April,
Right,
we've lived up to the law.
We can
Okay.
also pencil it in, right? I mean, we can pencil it in, I'm saying we can schedule a meeting, great, schedule it for the second Thursday of April. But as far as writing into the rules of procedure, I think the rules of procedure should just say,
in the month of April.
Yeah.
I agree with
Yeah,
that.
you know, then let's put that in, and it's gotta go into those 3 paragraphs.
well, I would suggest, in that spirit, is that someone has to be designated call around, you see, before that time, say 2 weeks before.
I nominate Sean Bosworth.
Right, but, you know.
That should be the secretary's job.
Yeah.
To organize.
Correct. In other words, but set that, at least give 2 weeks notice to find out
Okay.
how everybody
But keep
is
it in the
with
month
the
of
date.
April.
Sure.
so
And-
second Thursday of April is April the 10th. And do you want to just stick with 7 p.m.?
7 works better than
sounds
6
good to
for
me.
me.
And that way, then everybody can plan, or we can adjust as necessary. And also depends on what's coming up.
Exactly.
All right, April. We do not have to vote on something like that, right? We just by.
Well, no, let's put it in and we'll vote on the overall rules of
Okay.
procedure as one document.
Right, so,
And then it has to be noted that it was approved by the zoning board on a
Okay.
date, and a copy of this has to be filed with the town clerk. And then the only thing that I was gonna look in here, I don't know if it's already in here or not, but as far as future meetings, all right, yeah, it's in there. I think I got it.
and what,
It's page 2, under meetings, first paragraph.
Okay.
At a time and day set by the chairperson, other meetings may be held on the call of the chair. That's something you always put in them.
well, yeah, because we could have applications
Right.
Come
Something come up,
and have to take care of it.
but that's already in there, so.
So
Other than that, I think
it's saying all 5 members. Is this something that the state, do we have to have a certain amount?
we have to have 5.
You have to have the quorum.
So-
yes.
Okay.
Well,
If you, the zoning board can get into a real predicament if somebody comes in, you get a developer with attorneys and whatnot, they can make life difficult for the town. And, you know, when you go to court, it gets very expensive in a hurry. And it's, I think if we do our due diligence ahead of time, we can avoid some of that.
well, that's the whole idea,
Exactly.
cooperation, and
I
we
mean,
have.
I tried to get the zoning board to
Yeah.
do this the first time I was a selectman, and it was like talking to the wall. But people don't realize how important some of this stuff is until you read the RSAs. And, you know, if the town ends up in Superior Court, and we all stand there kind of going, you know, we don't know what we're supposed to be doing. It's gonna be embarrassing for the town, it's gonna cost the taxpayer a lot of money.
Exactly.
Which attorney do we use, the town's attorney?
Drummond and Woodson is the town's attorney right now, yes. But that becomes difficult if we were to, for example, if we were to rule on a topic that the select board, say, denied, that didn't have to do with land or ordinances or anything like that. This is the judicial branch of town government, okay? We would have to decide that,
Exactly.
okay?
And protect.
And as a selectman, I'd probably have to abstain, you know, in fairness to, you know, whoever was
If
bringing.
it's biased or if you're involved or,
Exactly.
yes.
But, you know, it's a quasi-judicial branch of town government. And it's actually a little more serious than the planning board.
Well,
Or the
it is, it
conservation
has
commission.
more power.
No, it doesn't
over
really,
it.
no, it has no power. You only decide, yea or nay. on issue.
But that,
But we're trying to uphold the rights of landowners and protect.
And also protect the applicant that's
As well.
coming in, to be fair to that person as well. I mean, it's no different than going to Superior Court or District Court or whatever. It's won or lost there based on the facts. So, and if we do get an appeal or an application in for a zoning problem or anything, I would suggest everybody get the zoning laws out and refresh memories so that we're all on the same page. And then for the zoning board to approve or deny, there are 5 categories that have to be voted on, and you really have to stick to them. And does the applicant meet the,
Yes.
well, no.
Everything Rick is discussing
Right
is
there.
totally laid out in here, yeah, it's.
And if
it's
anybody
all in
wants
here.
to and has the time to do it, the New Hampshire Municipal Association has programs.
I've actually looked into those.
You know,
They
I
offer
mean,
them every
And
summer.
if everybody, if we had people on the planning board and the zoning board and even on the conservation commission that wanted to we could have Steve Buckley or one of the people down there come up and actually give us a 2 or 3 hour seminar right here. We did that, I think it was the first or second year I was at the selectmen. And we invited Madison, Tamworth, and Ossipee, and everybody chipped in for the expense of bringing them up. Because it cost, I don't know, $500 or $600 back then. I mean, I think each of the towns contributed a couple hundred.
no, that was a good idea.
And we had probably 40, 45 people sitting out in the hall out there, and
Yeah.
they did a PowerPoint presentation, and nobody had to drive to Concord or anything like that.
Exactly.
I mean, Steve didn't like coming up here, but that's what he gets paid for.
All right,
Okay,
so
where are we
that
now?
pretty much, at this point,
I mean, has everybody read through the rules and whatnot? They're pretty straightforward.
They are. I think a refresher, like we have not been called to really discuss anything in quite a while.
Right.
Might be in all of our future, just before we do have some things that we have to discuss and make decisions on.
But like I said, I took this right off the website of planning, state planning. It was what they recommended to start with, you know, and then we could amend it. There's a provision in there to amend it. If we're gonna amend it, we would discuss it at one meeting and then vote to amend it at a second meeting.
that's,
And it's just a majority vote to change. And this is more procedures more than.
correct. And that takes care, in terms of category here, number 10, new business, and the procedures is EBA, the budget, our budget.
Let's finish the rules of procedure first before we jump into
What
any budget.
do we have to finish on?
We gotta vote on
We
it.
have to
We
vote,
have to
we have come to a conclusion every,
Oh, okay. No, I didn't realize we were gonna vote on it because,
We're gonna keep you honest, Peter.
well, you have to,
I know.
somebody. So,
Peter,
are we going
I'll
to
make
go
I'll make a
through?
motion to approve the ZBA for the town of Albany rules of procedure as we have discussed and amended.
I second it.
Okay, perfect. Well, can you second it? Wayne?
Oh, I don't know if I can. I haven't
I'll let
done
Joe-
under oath,
Joe.
so we'll let Joe.
So I'll second it.
Oh,
I'm just here.
okay.
And then you'd ask if there's any further discussion on it.
Any further discussion?
Not for me.
Seeing none, you'd call it for a vote.
Okay. All those in favor of accepting?
Aye.
Aye, okay.
I don't think I
Same,
can.
yeah.
Yeah.
Rick made a motion and second was.
No.
Joe?
Yes.
Thank you.
And Sean, what I would do is, on the last page, put down a little note at the bottom. Take out that note that was in there. The thing in bold print, the practice pointer. And just in place of that, just put
All
down,
right, so-
it was approved by the
It would
zoning
be-
board and a date.
At the budget,
Old
old
business.
Let me catch
business,
up.
and then
Yeah,
whatever
as soon as you
has to
finish
do with
it.
Andy
I don't know
Davis.
what it's that it's about.
Yeah,
Okay, rules of procedure, you were saying down at the very bottom?
At the very end, last page,
Oh, here.
Oh, notes, the
That,
notes?
yeah, that big bold print, just take it right out. Yeah, and then just put a note down there, probably in bold print, that the zoning board of Albany zoning board of adjustment approved this on
The
today's date.
24th, October 24th.
By unanimous vote.
Elimination.
And then if it ever gets amended in the future, you just list them all on the back page.
Okay. Budget. I do not remember how we used to handle this in the past.
Well, I came prepared.
Well, we're very happy, yes.
And, well, yeah, I have a question on 2 line items here. ZBA secretary, what do you think it's gonna take to do your job in the year 2025?
I think the going rate is $20 an hour.
Well, yeah, but
And
how
how
many
many
hours?
meetings are we gonna have?
My guess is probably, I would figure for 3 meetings. One would be the organizational meeting, and then 2 others possible. If they don't happen, they end up in the general reserve, and they go back to reduced taxes.
I think it's safe, I think it maybe is just like, say the number of meetings and then double it for the time of doing the mailings.
Yeah,
and
but
stuff.
what do you spend for time in between meetings doing minutes? And then if we had an applicant come in, we have to do the notices that have to go out certified mail for all the abutters,
Right.
and that sort of thing. What kind of time does that incorporate? What I'd like you to do is maybe for the organizational meeting, just what we're doing here, what time, we talking 1, 2, 3, 4 hours, I don't know.
Since we don't know, can we do an hourly with X amount of dollars not to exceed?
You can't do that in a budget, municipal budget. That
Has to be set, the amount of
You
money
have
set
to set it.
aside.
You
voted
set it
on.
Correct, and that, so if $1,000 is set aside, he doesn't have to expend it all,
No.
No.
Oh, no.
correct? All right, so that's what I mean, if it's an hourly, if
Right,
he's paid hourly and he
right.
keeps track
We
of his
need
hours.
we need to estimate what amount of time he's gonna take and multiply it times 20, and come up with a line item that we aren't gonna exceed.
So the tricky part with ZBA is it's totally dependent on the number of cases and applications that are
Right.
heard. Basically, I'd say for every applicant, with the mailings and the email coordination, 2 hours per, and then meeting time on
Meeting
top of
time.
that. Yeah.
So what do
So
you
2
figure?
hours outside of meeting.
5 hours per meeting, would that cover it?
Sure. That seems reasonable.
Okay.
Okay. Get your calculator out and multiply that times 20. 15 times 20.
5 hours per meeting times 20 meetings?
Huh?
Times 20
5
meetings?
hours.
5 hours.
Oh, times 20
5 hours,
Oh,
okay, times 3 is 15.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Okay, and multiply that times 20, $300. And then we have to figure out what the Social Security Medicare, and I don't remember off the top of my head what that was.
It's roughly 14%.
Yeah, it's like 14.6%, but that's all of it, we only pay half. So it would be,
Okay.
and I forget what Kelly was using for the number. Leave that empty and we'll approve a number, and I'll make sure that gets in there correctly.
Yeah. I'm looking to see.
What,
Do I have this
what's,
spreadsheet? I do.
what's 300 times? Well, here, let me go to somebody else.
Is this
All right, on 13.5, it's 1,033. So what's the equivalent?
the budget you're working off of a spreadsheet you created, or is that something
It's the town of Albany.
It's an expense sheet that we got back in August.
that? Okay.
So one I
Okay.
had available.
Yeah. Do you want me to kind of type up the little budget as you're doing it?
Have you got a calculator over there?
Yeah, sure. What's the number you want?
Multiply 1,033 times 300.
1,033.
And divide by 13,500. I want to say it's 7.165.
22.9, 23?
No, that doesn't come out right.
Alright. You had 1,033 times 300
Yep.
times 300. And then divided by
13,500.
Okay. So
It
this
should
is
come out
gonna
like
be
7.65 maybe.
this times this with plus times this divided by that.
Should have brought a calculator.
22.9, 23.
That's not correct.
No?
Let's,
Oh, parentheses. We need parentheses. No?
let's multiply 300 times 8%. And we won't exceed that.
24. 24.
$24?
8% of 300 is $24.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then we'll use 24. Last year's budget, you had $15 in there. So that
So
sounds,
24.
that sounds about right.
Yeah, the calculation you had earlier was 23.
Oh, all right, yeah.
You just rounded it off to 20.
We'll go with 24.
There it is.
And then, my recommendations for this, member attendance is $35 a head, times 5 heads, times 3 meetings. And I get $525.
$525.
Yeah, that's what I got. And then the next line would be the secretary, 300, and the next line would be Social Security, Medicare at $24. And then there's a $1 in the technical advisor category to keep the line open in the event that we need it. Conferences, last time around, you budgeted $50. I would suggest $150. I mean, it's cheap insurance to keep us out of trouble. And then just general operating expenses, we had 105 in there last year. I would suggest putting in 125 this year. I mean, everything's gone up.
What was the number? Operating expense?
Yeah.
How much was it?
125.
125.
Yep,
And you're proposing
125.
125, same?
Yep. I mean, I can give you my little thing here to make sure you get it correct.
Yeah.
And then the last thing, I would put in a legal line there for, I don't know, $1,000.
Are you running off expenses 2023? That's 2023 probably?
No, this is 2024.
Right, but he's saying in terms of the expenses for,
Yeah, I'm comparing them to this year's
Yeah.
expenses.
Okay.
This is year to date to
Yeah.
August 27th.
Okay. So I think I missed a few things because I was playing catch up, but we have a line for secretary, a line for social security Medicare, a line for conferences. Thank you. Alright,
Social Security,
Right
Medicare,
down.
$24.
all these things, okay. Alright, remember, yeah, can I just hold this for a minute?
Yep. Yep, got any questions? I mean, I can remember when I was a selectman, and you remember, Joe, that when we did the budget, it was just an educated guess for the zoning board.
Yeah, you don't know what you're gonna get.
You know, there was, I think, 3 years that they didn't meet at all, which is great. I mean, it's, the thing is, when you budget, and you put it into the tax rate, that's what you can spend. We do things wrong in this town. Everybody just keeps spending, and they figure, well, the money will come out of some line somewhere. Technically, you're supposed to be voting on removing it from a line and putting it into another line. That's municipal budget law.
We've done that in the past, years ago. We've had special meetings, you know,
Yeah.
for anything not budgeted. But, okay. Are we all set on that?
Well, when
Sean's.
Sean
has to
adds
finish
up, we need a
The
total,
total for the budget.
and then include that in the minutes. You know, just that little blurb. Because the select board is gonna start the budget process here probably next month, at the next meeting, which is voting day.
Yes.
We're gonna have a select, if anybody wants to attend the selectmen's meeting, we have a selectmen's meeting at 4:30 on Tuesday. You can speak then or forever hold your peace until town meeting. And either you or if you want, I can make sure Elisa gets that proposed budget.
I'll send it to her.
You always ask for more than you want.
Technical advisor, you're still sticking with $1.
Well, yeah, you know, we may or may not need it, but if you don't put a number in there of $1, that means the line gets taken out and you can't spend anything on the technical advisor.
Right, but
So if you had to get someone to come in here that's qualified and certified for something to give a point of view or whatever, that allows us to
We don't have
steal out of
that there.
another line, or the select board will help out trying to get it out of another line to do.
now what is the current procedure of money not spent carried over to the
That
next
just
year?
automatically gets carried over.
Correct, okay.
No, it goes into the general fund,
Correct,
okay, and it goes to reducing taxes.
okay.
We give it back to the people.
All right.
I mean, it's their money. You know, unlike a business, you know, if this was your business, I mean, if you overspent your budget in a month, you just make the decision to overspend it and you'll make it up
Right,
somewhere.
but this is-
But when you have to answer to 735 people in town, and they get real crabby if you don't give them the facts, you know?
Alright, proposed budget is 21-25.
Well, how can it be, oh yeah, okay, because we have $1 in there, okay. Yep. Just checking.
You say 2125?
Correct.
Okay.
You know, and we'll see what the selectmen come back with. But that would be what I would recommend, and as a member of the zoning board, I would support that as a selectman. I mean, I don't think it's extravagant, it's probably more up to date than the last 10 years. When you really look at things.
We have no applications in front of us at this time, right?
None.
And any suspected,
Do we need to make a motion to
Yes.
vote on
on
the budget?
the budget, excuse me.
Yeah, I would just vote on the bottom line budget
I'll
and
make a
and
motion.
make the motion to submit this to the select board for the budgeting process
I'll
for
make a motion
2025.
that we budget 21-25 dollars for the zoning board adjustment budget, and we submit it to the selectmen for approval.
Okay,
Anybody second that?
I'll second.
Okay.
Yeah, it'd be a conflict of interest probably if I second it.
Yeah. $21, $25.
Oh, thank you. Peter, you saying?
Yes. Did you call the vote?
Pardon me?
Call the vote?
Yes. The vote on the final number of 2125, right? In terms of the budget, for the budget.
Correct.
It's the proposed recommended.
Correct, proposed and recommended. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed?
Should I abstain? I'm not here as a selectman.
I don't know, I don't think it makes a difference, I don't think you need to.
I think you were allowed to also be here.
Yeah.
I
No,
don't
there's
know.
no conflict.
There's no-
Well, I'd vote to
Yeah.
support it.
Okay, so all in favor, aye, it's
Okay.
unanimous.
I just tricky one.
Okay.
No, I don't think it's,
What?
Abstain, it's tricky, yeah. I don't know.
Well, there's no law governing it. It's just, somebody has to determine whether there's a conflict of interest.
Right, and that's Robert's rules and so forth. The idea.
No, it's not Robert's rule. Robert's
in here.
rules are a pain in the neck.
It's in here.
It's all in there. and-
Oh,
and
okay, if
also
it's in there,
state
that's fine,
RSA,
but that's
you
based
know.
upon a general consensus.
But I support what we just
Yeah,
did.
okay.
ultimately, it's gonna be up to the legislative body.
Ultimately, it's on me.
Okay, so if there are issues, it will come up then.
Keep one thing in mind. When I became selectman the first time
Hey Jim,
around,
can you put your mic a little closer to your mouth?
I want to say the planning board budget was something like $21,000 or $22,000. And what is it today, Sean? We cut it-
Half
we-
that or less,
We cut it
8,000 maybe.
way back. I mean, I think it's cut back too much and whatnot. But, yeah. I mean, and if you remember back in those days, the select board at the time and the planning board at the time, you come in, you couldn't even stand in this room. They were in here fighting and arguing.
Well, the town wasn't organized, and you helped organize it, and other
Well,
people and so forth. And
There
that
was a
was,
lot of antagonism, and
Yeah.
it came from a lack of communication and lack of knowledge of the RSA's.
no, it was also run by a cabal, really, a group of people. And it was their vested interest, and nobody really participated until a number of us did.
But, for, the point I'm trying to make is the planning and zoning board has really come down in budget numbers since that period. But, the board should get enough money to operate.
What seems, yes, prudent,
Yeah, exactly.
and
And a lot of it's unknown. We don't know how many, we may have 5 meetings next year.
well, there's almost,
But let's get through the first 3
Yes.
first.
we'll take care of what we got.
The next matter, what do we
And we'll
have?
go. Okay, so, old
Old
business. And there
We just
is,
did all the old business.
well, there's
Something
a
about Andy
signature
Davis.
about Andy Davis, what's that?
What is that? Oh, there's the old,
A nod 2020-07.
it's a notice of decision that needs his signature from.
What is-
So,
What is it about?
it was the profile Subaru sign.
Oh, their sign.
Oh,
Yeah,
The
the profile.
step back.
I remember that.
I remember
Yeah.
that.
Just, I was going through to make sure we had everything actually
And you don't
filed
have a
correctly, and
signature?
we don't have a signature. So I contacted Andy,
And what did he say?
will be coming by to put his signature on
Okay,
it.
will be signed. Okay. Isn't that something? Yeah, well,
Well, a
thank
lot
you.
of things have fallen between
Yeah.
the cracks, you know?
Okay,
Well, 2020 did that.
So I remember, I know,
Yeah.
so,
I will say something after the meeting.
Yeah.
yeah,
But it
basically,
was legit.
we don't have a public present.
Nope.
So this would be
Just
public
Laura.
comment, adjournment. Is there anything else to be talked about at this point?
I guess I need to be sworn in at some point.
If I had the paper, I could do it. But the tax, town clerk has
Okay.
it, and she's not here.
I'll reach out to her.
Before,
If you, I'm almost sure she's got the actual paper.
in other words, it could be done, but just a visit.
Right.
And
You
so
just go in and swear at her and
we will
sign.
say that Sherry be sworn.
When I swore at her, she swore at me. I did hers and she did mine at the same time.
Oh, is that right? And
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second. It's 7:47.
Good?
All in favor?
Aye.
I
Bye.
Now we're good.